Where I get this number, I'm at the store. Okay, we're streaming Far Far West today instead of Satisfactory. The reason why is quite simple. Right now, right now, Satisfactory is updating, so we can't play Satisfactory as quickly as we can play Far Far West, and it's already getting kind of late. Yeah, I meant to start like 7:30. It's 7:56. It's at 78%, so like I'm just gonna stick a little bit past the stream and make sure that it's done, but past that it should be fine. It's a quick patch, but evidently they fixed a lot. Although from what they said, it's them just effectively implementing a bunch of patches because they're done with their break and they can actively deal with if the patches cause bugs. Apparently, copy stain. Either way, let's make sure that everything is the way that should be. We've got Bone Boy over here. We got Leverage, which looks very nice. We can also equip the minigun, which is a lot better to equip, but I don't want to do that right now. I could have the Pulse Grenade. It might be interesting to do the Impulse Grenade. Dual revolvers. I could do the dual revolver. I'm doing the dual revolvers. I could change out to this instead, but since I've got the accuracy out of this thing, it should be fine. Let's... looks pretty decent enough. Alright. Again, Kick says I misconfigured. Again, I don't really know how much I care. We're not really playing for, I don't know what you'd say. We're primarily playing for gold, not for much else. You know, go with the nuke. We're primarily playing for random fragments, and also to kind of improve my skill, because the next update for Far Far West is supposed to be the alien update, which means there's going to be new stuff, and also probably skins. Okay, don't know exactly why everything's here today. There is an agonizingly high amount of stinking crap right now. Gosh, is it hard to keep track when I gotta deal with all this stuff. Speaking of... Alright, there we go. Why is there everything here today? I haven't even, like, marked a mission on my map yet. And I haven't stopped running into things for a solid minute. Okay, let's just go over here. We can get... Where? What in the world? Are they already dedicated in my direction? No. Alright. I literally just, like, did a pop shot and landed it. Gosh. Okay. Is there anything for anyone who just wants some... Something else? Well, just because they can't come up with anything else doesn't mean I can't. Because I know full well there is these knuckleheads over here. So we're trying to collect gold, and we're also trying to collect fragments. There's no the main fragment device out here, so... Should be alright. Alright, let's keep tapped up because I don't got much else of an option. Okay. Do that. Okay, fine. Ooh, gold. That's what I like to see. Ah, more to you. More to Uta. Just stay as calm and aim for the head. Make it quick and make it pretty. There we go. Alright, so definitely gonna want to dump this over here, and then let's see, there should be primary ammo, or not primary ammo, utility ammos right about here actually. What the crap? No, it's utilities, that's cool. Alright. Ooh. The thing actually just, like, instantly... No, there... Why does it chase? I stink at landing my shots right now. That's what I've learned. Oh, that's cool. I got a grave real quick. Where? Alright. You know, I do know that there's nukes on this map, so I might as well just make sure that... Yeah, it's not a bomb. Pull the levers, press the button. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum. I do love how I don't have to micromanage things. Great. Of course, I didn't look for any of the fragments before doing anything silly like causing anything. That's a gas bomb, don't like that. Launch a nuclear missile. Not available yet. Gonna reroll a little bit. Yeah, I still don't like it. Sure. Let's just do this one. Of course, I run straight into the fire like a Nimrod. Alright, there's one over there. I'll do that one first. I should really try to actively speaking. Ugh. Literally just trying to get some stinking gold that I earned. It's just such stupidity. Why is there so much? There we go. And I finally remembered that there's more than just my primary weapon. I should be able to do some damage for a decent bit. Um, why this thing? Oh, great. It is what it is. Okay, got that. Alright. Alright. Of course. That's cool. Okay, so let's get this handled. Anything as far as like this rock explosives go? Man, they don't like me, but whatever. Hee. I literally killed someone to prevent that. How many of these things are there gonna be? What the flippin' crap? Okay, gonna go ahead and break a quick rule that I tend to have, which is don't touch these until it's time. Oh, just real quick do that, because apparently the minigunners come in twos, like the Sith. It ain't all that bad to use these because I can just refill them. Speaking of, where's this thinking? There we go. I feel like they changed the way that the TNT works. I don't mind it automatically. I think I can aim a little bit more directly at targets. But that does mean that I gotta change the way that I'm pointing at things. Hee. Okay. I don't know what I wanted to do right now, but whatever. Just want to do this. Of course, there was a better, closer solution, but I'm not gonna go with that right now. What is over here? What is this all about? Of course. Okay. Why is everything here today? Ah, perfect. Hee. What in the world did I just hear? Don't waste your time with that crap. Just thinking. Alright, there we go. Definitely gonna take that. Even if I can't aim in this. Okay. Or not aim in this, aim with this. As in, you can't aim with the, Gotcha. I don't know why it didn't drop golds. I feel like those guys just showed up. I want to experiment. That experiment was useless. I can finally get back to what I was doing before this whole sniffing back and forth came up. That's probably the worst part, where it's just like, oh wow, you also didn't have to go through all that. Whew. Woohoo! Okay, so... I have to be quick and stealthy, or else there's gonna be a storm. Fun fact, you cannot melee nukers. Forgot that for a second. I don't know how you would be able to tell that I forgot that. But, I may or may not have. Okay, not a lot of XP there. And just got a bunch of gold. The good thing is this is 4 gold and also, fragments, because right now I'm not doing good with anything. And I'm just gonna check something real quick. So if I do some kind of combination of buttons, I can actively access this, or I can just hit you. Yeah. No, not watching that right now because I already look. I'm playing your game. I don't need commercials for your game. I just need to check my downloads. Inventory. Where is my stinking downloads? And whatever. Minimize window, settings, screenshots, recordings, guides, clocks, notes. So it's shift tab to do that, but I've got something else that I kind of wanted to do. You know what? I'm just gonna exit. Guys, I'm done playing. I'm gonna like quit now and not stream anymore. Now I'm gonna quit. On a whim. Oh, this is already wrong one. It's not done yet? I was gonna be like, oh wow guys, I can actively speaking real quick, go back and like play Satisfactory. It's at 86%. It just hit 86. I'm gonna go into stinking like my kick dashboard. Going to change it to just talking. Just chatting. Save. Why does it say I'm offline all of a sudden? Hello? Yeah, that was really weird. Either way, gonna do that. And we're going to be just chatting for like 55 seconds. Or minutes. Or an hour. No, I think they're minutes. They're seconds. Yeah, I think they're seconds. Either way. So, that was weird. Oh, it's just patching the files. It's not actually installing anything. It's already got the information in it. But, how have you guys been doing? So far my Satisfactory plans are just currently garbage. I could go back and do one last thinking. No, I can't. Okay, it's not updating unless I actively speaking am doing nothing else other than looking at the stupid patching file crap. It's at 97% now. It's nice. 98. But, it's taking a little bit. Anyway, probably gonna cut this video up, so whoever gets number I'm at list for. And, yeah, that's great. Okay, I've been streaming for less than an hour. And now I can actively play Satisfactory again. Grand. I forgot how any of that works. Satisfactory, save, exit. Quit after. Okay. We are now doing Satisfactory. Before I was doing Far Far West, then I was just chatting. Now I'm clicking Satisfactory. Because Far Far West, right now, is not mixing with how tired I am. Keep on doing stupid things. Chat isn't showing anything. Nobody's watching. I'm actually probably going to minimize this real quick and try and get... Oh, wait. I don't know. I don't know how wise it is to minimize it right now and try and get it fixed up. Because my sub count and my viewers aren't showing up on my misconfigured thingamabob. I just need to refresh it. Well, it says healthy, one viewer. I have one viewer right now. And my time life is 48 seconds. My sub count is 0 because I don't have the ability to sub right now. I was going to refresh the chat, but I don't think anything's going to show up. Yeah, nothing. Whoa. Okay, that was a switch right there that my brain just went, oh yes, different game. But it'll work, right? I just tried to use the same mechanics that I was using a second ago on Far Far West. Either way, so right now, this is manufacturing to full capacity, everything's working. We got everything kind of correctly wired up downstairs. But there's some details to add to that statement. So we have where this thing is set up to where both of these are outputting the products to the stator and the oh, what is it called? The stator and the rotors. So both of these are being produced at like scale. Not automatically well, but it is its own application. But this only requires 30 per minute. This only requires 40 per minute. So these things, I used belt loading instead of power loading to actively get them done. Which isn't all that bad, but it is something that, actively speaking, like, it's a type of power loading. It just uses belt capacity instead of... These are Mark 1s. Yeah. It uses belt capacity instead of actual, like, design. like, belts design, how many belts you're using, where you put in belts, how you're actually handling it. Instead of it's using the, belt capacity, which I'm good with. I actually like that. But I'm going to then continue these lines on so that I can then use them inside of the final SAM. It's the final SAM down to the neighbor. Which of course means that I need to now start making constructors. Because that's really what I'm going to need right now. Which is a production application. I kind of want this to be forward of it a little bit. That way I can... Well, no, actually, that's not the wisest decision. It's not a horrible one, but it's not the wisest one. I think I need it to be back a little bit in comparison. I also do want to actually have some space here, so we're definitely going to move that over a lot. And then as this continues forward, because this will need reanimated SAM, and then I think this goes straight into a manufacturer, which isn't horrible, but is kind of why we would want some space as far as that goes. Okay. Nothing wants to line up here. Okay, so that should actively speaking work. That'll actually leave the 2 holes that actively can help with that crap. All I need to do now is just give it some space. And do everything that I've done before. Alright, so if I just look at this, it takes just over 1 of these bricks to actively get the problem solved. That should be sufficient. But I'm going to go a little bit further just so that it looks better. Okay, and this is correctly oriented. Everything is nice and pretty, and it should be fully functional. Ish. Now then, optimally, we just sit down and have 2 of these constructing at the same time, because I don't think that the actual production rate is going to be particularly good. Yeah, no, it's not. This is not what we would call an optimum solution. It takes 120 per minute. If I make 4 of them, I can reach the actual capacity of the belt. But if I check over here, what does that actually require for a SAM fluctuator? 10 per minute. Or not 10. Reanimated SAM, it requires 60. Excuse me. Which means that all I need is a Mark II belt to feed this thing entirely. Okay. Optimizations. Let's go ahead and do this. Logistics, please. Conveyor murder. Not what I meant to say there, but yeah. That'll do. I'm pretty sure that. Okay. There we go. Mark 2, please. And transfer the Mark 2. I mean, is this 60 per minute? Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and I guess there's only one real solution. Mark 1 isn't particularly my preference. This way it actually just gets handled. And all I need to do is sit down and have it be like, back and forth as, I forgot what I tend to do. In order to ensure that it actually has a priority structure. Stinking silliness. Alright, so this should be correct. Logistics, let's do this. Alright. Alright, then. But I can only assume. Alright. That's actually correct. If I were to, for instance, stick this in here. I'm gonna let that be for a little bit. And then it should be overflowing into this, if it had power. There we go. That was more what I was expecting. Yeah. just go. There we go. Just stick those in there because the whole point of this was to have that inside of my depot. Ouch. And apparently hit my head. Let's get the actual SAM going here. I don't know how much... that's Mark 4, that's Mark 4. It only requires 120 per minute. I can probably... Like, I don't really have a reason to slow that down. And technically, if I just did 100% power shard, I'd actively have that be fine, but I don't really want to do that. Well, technically speaking, I could sit down and also use sloops in order to get more SAM for my buck. But again, I don't really see a good use to do in doing that. Although, because of how this gets handled, I can also ensure that there is a superior amount of production to reception, meaning that I can also then have better stock of the situation. Better stock of the ingredients than the actual production. Although I have enough on my belt to like produce this twice, so I could also do that. But I don't really know how much I'm going to use. Like, I don't use this at a constant basis. Like, can I make a second one? Yes, but why would I make a second one? Although it's not that hard. Although I would probably want to put this back a little bit so that I could... Yeah, let's do that. You know, this one. Alright, let's do that. And then all I need to do is fix this smart splitter setup so that it makes sense, and then get to work. Smart splitter, let's do that. Well, actually, that guy right there is already correctly programmed. Let's just take it from him. I see why I didn't want to actively already pre-lock. Alright. Okay. Splitter. Well, actually, I gotta do that earlier on. Okay, other than that, what? This guy just... And then all I need to do is a bunch of these guys. Trying to power load the snipers. Trying to power load the ingredients, not the actual finished product. Because that would be both ridiculous and ineffective. It could be useful within certain jurisdictions to power load, but I don't think it is gonna be. Okay, that should be fine. That should be fine. 4 or 120 SAM versus 30 SAM. This all sums up to 120, which is 260. Fun fact. Although, because of that, I can also be a little bit more practical about this. And dude, that's 120 right there. Found my stuff. 120. And these are both 60. And as far as the other ingredients go, I don't know if I have the capacity for them. I should, though. Yeah, we're fine. Maybe not for 2, but for 1, definitely. Although, we aren't going to be able to do that if I don't actually put in the conveyor holes, so... Probably should get to doing that. Okay, okay. Nothing's like 70 or anything, right? Alright. Mark 1s all around. I think this thing needs you to actually send it a wee bit back. Alright. There should be one right here. Okay, that should be fine. That should be fine. I gotta bonk the mic for the octillionth time. Sorry, it's right up to my face. Sorry about that. Of course there were ones right here. Of course, I thought halfway ahead. Everything should be fully functional, and all I need to do is figure out how to go down and hook everything up. Because each one of these is 60, then I just need to go down the line. Or not 60, that should be 120, but, like, I still just need to go down the line. That's Mark 2, right? That's a... Yeah. I just need to go down the line and implement the 120, and it should be fine. Opposing end of it, it would be more efficient if I used Or it'd be more power efficient if I used overclocking or underclocking. If I used underclocking to 50% on each of them, it would be more power efficient. But I'm not gonna waste my time on that right now. Speaking of... That's a Mark 1. That should be fine. Alright, so... all I need to do now is just remember the age-old basics. Just gonna do that first. Just keep her consistent. Is this a smart splitter? Nope. But it is a splitter, right? Yeah, it's a splitter. So that means that I can go this way and just have this solved. So, how about I do it about here? And then go all the way down. Do a conveyor splitter. Conveyor splitter. Apparently, I'm very worried about the copper wire right now. Alright, so there should be copper wire in both of these. That's... yeah, it's slow, but it does the exact production requirement. So it does exactly what I need it to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and call that a win. So what I'm gonna do now is gonna put this right about here. And realize that I messed up. Alright, and now all I need to do is keep it straight. Not the most difficult thing, but it is an art. Okay. This should be fully functional. This should be fully functional. Everything looks alright. Everything is all jammed up. What is going on? It's not receiving material because... I'm gonna say something went wrong. I really should have just made the, like, lowest common denominator and have just not fiddled with it until I had gotten an understanding of what I was going to need to do. But did I? No. I had to sit down and do science. Everything's functional. Do this science and math thing. Yep, and then it hits 8 every time, right? Yep. Which means that it should be getting ready to make... Yeah, it should be fine. Any overflow. Right now, just to see if it works. Oh, hello, this is Gator. My constructors are upside down for the utility time. Wait, should I... Good morning, Mr. Omega. I don't know why, apparently, but when a crocodilian reads my comment, I'm apparently Russian. So, gotta add that in there. Good morning. Good morning, Gator. This is Gator. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Alright, that's probably gonna get me sneaking, like, knocked out of orbit. They didn't even tell me that my, my merger was upside down. How come you didn't tell me that my mergers were upside down? Anyway. Speaking of, when I was commenting on your stream, you mentioned the... It's extra funny when I read ladies' chats like that. It is what it is. That's how many voice cracks I'm having today. Maybe I'm a little bit... Maybe that's more apt than I thought. I'm out of... What was the question? Oh, yeah. When I actively speaking asked you about the mods, because I was talking about how I didn't actively speaking have mods on my Satisfactory, and I kind of considered that a little bit of a mistake because the Zoop thingamabob where you can zoop 2 ways, and you mentioned the zooping in a square, where you can zoop in multiple directions. That is infinite zoop, which is the thing that I was mentioning, the quality of life crap. I don't have that either, but that is what I was talking about when I was doing the chat. Also, when you power shard things, it does have power inefficiencies. So, like, if I power sharded this to 2, it would actually increase power draw in comparison to the product I would receive. I was trying to, like, say that, but I kept on misspelling things inside of your chat. I have 3,100 hours, and I have never used a mod, lol. Yeah. It is its own application. I mean, there is a utility to that, but, like, I also understand why people mod. When you're making things like this, and half of the stinking, like, foundations are in different directions. It is its own application. But I'm gonna check, do I have anything yet? No steel pipes. Oh, come on. My steel pipes are broken. There should be steel pipes down there. Anyway, other than that, still using Mark 1 belts all around? Well, yeah, because I'm trying to belt load, meaning that I'm actually trying to match the capacity via the belt capacity. That way I can actually power load without having to hook up 12 different things. I can keep to my personally set challenge of power loading without having to have 20,000 belts on the screen. All splayed around like wings, which I do like the wing aspect that I do. The whole point of it is to actually try and make the power loading look good. But that does mean that I have a couple of complications here and there. Okay, everything's all good. But yeah, I'm not using it out of, like, lack of, the encased steel beams. I'm using it because that's a way to actually increase the speed of usable production units. Or whatever you want to call these things. Gosh. And other than that, the Christmas light... Sorry, Fixmas. Or else Ada might strike me down from the sky. The Fixmas lights are actively speaking, were lovely when you actively speaking were showing that around. I'm sorry I couldn't actively comment more. I was clinging onto the clapping emoji for dear life. I know how to spell, but remembering is the question. And memory has never been my best specialty. It's not my worst aspect either, but... there are a couple things I'm still a little bit better at. I wish you could use the Fixmas cables all year round. Yeah. So... there's only one other thing that I'm planning on producing with this factory. And that is the automated miners. Oh yes, and the heavy modular frames. Which is odd that you mine with miners. I want to make a joke about child labor, but that's beside the point. That is... I mean, it's not. There are worse jokes to make. But there's also far better situations to be. Although at the opposing end of it, you get a paycheck for your family, so there's that. But yeah, the automated miners are going to be on this factory, and also the heavy modular frames. And that is doing all kinds of dance moves that I do not approve of. Like, ever so often, you just go to it and then it's like this. I'm like, why? Why? I should get lights set up, but I can't do that until I have better automated... Well, not better automated, but like... depotted copper wire. Properly depotted. Not depot. Get a chance to see any my critters? You mean the ferrets? I see the ones that are like I saw the ones that are sleepy, the sleepy ones, but I haven't seen them really awake extensively. But I usually use lower compression, so that does make sense. But I did hear them trying to eat your fingers or whatever, whichever one it was this time. Gosh. I had one Jimmy Dean, and that was evidently not sufficient. This is the iron bars. There was something that I meant to check up on. Where is it? It's down here. Doop-a-doo. Doop-a-doo. So, is this actually properly set up? Yes. And actually properly power loaded. See, this is what happens when you power load. The other one was belt loading. This is power loading, where it's actually just straight up split straight at the core, and then it, actively speaking, divides out. I like this wing pattern that it produces, but it isn't compact. Other than that. I mean, I should have some depotted stuff, because I spent time manually depotting the lights, so I can actively speaking add some. Alright. And since I do have automated encased beams, your fixtures dedicated to it, whatever you want to call them. Whatever they get called this week. Try and line these up roughly, because I'm probably going to have to clean it up later, because I can't see half of the ceiling. There we go. That's a lot better. There we go. That is not straight whatsoever. There we go. That seems fine. But yeah, the ferrets are adorable. I thought about having ferrets for a while, but I prefer hotter temperatures in general, and I am aware that them and a lack of AC don't mix well. So I freeze a little too easy for me having a ferret, but I'm glad that you've got to have them. I've got to go over to... And they're little adorable little mischief makers. They very much remind me of Rinrin. Where is the power? Oh, where is the light's power? I wonder where... Okay. I mean, I could actually do that after I was thinking... set up the actual production floor over here. Where is... Ah, there it is. Probably just... Can't snap it because it's not snapping. Snaps there for some reason. Just... And apparently the daisy chaining went funny there. Yeah, it updated. I'm not going to pretend like this is anywhere what I wanted it to look like right now. It is very much going its own way. Other than that, should be fine. I still need to set up the lights over here. But since the lights are all good, this should be a-okay. A little bit patchy. By a little bit, I mean very patchy. So to use the stinking steel foundations. If you use steel foundations, you can line things up a lot easier without having this whole patchy crap. But that's beside the point. Motors are automated. These things are automated. Means I can take this out right now. Click this. Because apparently I was out of those. Just in time. Gosh, I'm getting hungry. I did not have... I had one Jimmy Dean too few. I had one Jimmy Dean too few. That's a better way of saying it. Blah. So... I mean, this is also power loading. But I built it with power loading in mind. I still built it wrong. But you can walk through it. Which is generally what I intend to maintain. But this is how I mean that I built it wrong, because when you go over here, you have to jump over this. You can't just slide under it. Well, you can, but... You clip in. Although, I could just... real quick... Yeah, I think that'll be good. Be fine. Alright. Just gonna go ahead and set this up. Alright. That should be good. And then what I need to do is... I'll take it. Sorry, that's wrong. There we go. Stick it up here. But as far as that goes, these are not getting empty anytime soon. I'm gonna wait for it to empty out a little bit so that I can just take it straight from there and put it in there. And that way I can actually have the ability to just walk underneath. Okay. I just got a bunch of iron in my inventory, didn't I? Yep, I did. Whatever, I gotta delete iron anyway. This way, I should be able to run all the way around this place, and then I can just walk all the way around the place. Controlled spaghetti. I still could probably do better, but it'll do for now. The Depot will only upload at a rate of 3 per minute. I guess I could then work with that, but meh. So I've got the ability to now just reliably have any type of SAM I so require other than just raw ore, because I don't really see too much use in that in the field. So then that just leaves the question of the last two things that I wanted to make, which is... Oh. I'm gonna need reinforced plates. Thankfully, that doesn't take that much. I don't want to do it, though. Actually... The spot right here might actually just do it. Nah, I don't need that much steel. Or space for it. So I guess I gotta just get started. So I gotta think of what I'm doing here. The two things are the heavy sorry. Heavy... What do you misspell heavy on stream? That's nice. And that's not a good place to actually check. Okay, that wasn't a misspell. That was just a mistaken keyboard. Okay, so we've got 2 per minute, 2.8 per minute, which takes the pipes... increases their demand. In fact, in general, it's just an increased demand plus concrete. And then you got this one, which requires rubber. The only thing is that the modular frames usually require screws, and you also have where they also require the iron plates. The iron plates, I can use the bolted recipe mixed in with the steel beam recipe in order to meet the demand. And just literally just tie a constructor directly into the plate production. So go over here. How much space would I need for a hole? Not that much, as it would turn out. Melted iron plate, I will need 90 per minute. That is a level 2 conveyor. Okay, level 2 to level 2. All nice, all pretty. This will require... that was a stupid decision. Did that say 500? No, it's 250. Okay, so steel screws will do 260. This needs 250. It should work just fine. And that'll get me 15 reinforced plates per minute. I can then redirect those reinforced plates directly into modular frames. I don't know if I actually should. Okay, let's just do this. So you got modular frames, that's bolted iron frame. That doesn't take that much. But it also takes screws. So bolted iron frame. I mean, this one's 5 per minute. The other one is 2 per minute. Yeah, no. So then all I need to do is give it enough space to have a second constructor with the exact same recipe. So just need to think about what I'm doing before I do it. Man, that thing's jumpy. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Take this. To be clear, like, I could meet the demand of... Well, I mean, let's see. 5 per minute. That's not hard at all, but when it comes down to the actual the screws, out of one producer, I could get pretty safely 3. So, how about I try that? But then I gotta figure out how to get the screws all set up. Unless I set up... No, I'm still gonna... Like, if I... Did I set up all these to... Yeah, okay, fine. Opening codecs. If I go over to what it produces, it does 2 per minute, requires 10 per minute. This would not be the stupidest idea. Just plain out handle all of this here. I just need to figure out how much space I'm gonna need to actually spread this out properly. And I think I might just have to separate out the screws so that I can actually use it. So, if I handled the screws underground, I could handle this really well. But 260. Oh, I just did open codecs. Go over here. 200%. That would be, enter it, 520. So I can't do that on one belt. Anyway. But I can stick it underground. Alright. So if I stick it underground, I can actually leave this a lot better. I just need the space to actually separate out this thing. Alright. And Katsuki's crying. I did remember one of your ferrets. Did I call your ferrets weasels? I'm sorry if I did that. But I don't know how offensive that would even be. Or I don't think anybody cares. They're all very cute little fluffy munchkins of chaos and destruction when it all breaks down to it. But adorable little destructive devices. Yeah, let's get this handled. But as far as it goes, I did remember one of them freaking out during your stream. So I hope that didn't, like, hurt you or anything. I don't think that's anything to be worried about right now. How about I move it then? Handle it a little bit more, like, if I handle it like that. The conveyor belt will complain, but it should still fit, and then I can actually better split it. Better split, better weave. I do feel like I could get a little bit closer, though. I'm gonna do that. I can definitely get it way closer. But it's a question of if I should get it closer. Then, little wing pattern. And it has suddenly decided that complaints should happen. I can see. Alright, so we've got that handled, and all I need to do is transfer this to the underground, slip it through, and weave it up. I believe that each one of these requires 50 per minute? No, 140. Type 2 belt. Yeah, I'm gonna need to weave it. I'm not weave it, split it. Which it should be fine for that. But 240. Now this can handle it. I don't. I can just upgrade it. Alright. So. How sweet is it? Okay. I actually started out this stream not playing a different game, but I kept on getting destroyed. I don't think I need. Yeah, no, I don't need. So let's go with that. Split it up. Up top. Take it over here. And that should be alright. Speaking of which, that's nerdy stuff. I don't think that's all too valuable to be bringing up right now. Although, I do realize that I just did a silly. I have to get this from under here, and I've just introduced a problem because I have to be able to get this wire across to split out evenly. But I gotta get a wire out to here. The opposing end of it is not the hardest thing. I can just actually slip it out from the back. What's the thing that I'm going to need? Bolted iron plates, plates. I'm going to need plates for that. And I'm going to need beams for that. And I think that that actually should work out. I could also stow plates. Is this a good place to stow plates? The bolt reinforced plates. I mean, I stowed... No. I'll stow rotors here because of the motors, but I'm not gonna stow the cacophony of other things. Come on. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. This is probably final floor for right now. I don't really see an extensive reason. Well, if I'm doing heavy modular frames, concrete would be a wise decision. This is a logistics floor. Well, at least I got an idea of what I want to do. I'm gonna put this down into the logistics floor. Why isn't there any space down there? Okay. Everything keeps on glitching. Speaking of which, do you upload to Rumble too, or do you just upload to YouTube? Ow. I probably shouldn't make my stream about some other kind of thing. That's kind of rude. Or is it rude? I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend to know. Anyway, let's just actually get this settled. I still have to rename everything down there. Gosh. I do wish you could add to the elevator without having to, like, remove the entire flipping thing. Oh, you can. Is that added inside of this update, or Because I know that it just updated because I had to play a different game than I was expecting to play. Yeah, you could just hook into the existing one. Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Okay, so it's just over. If I do this, it should be... Yep, that's about correct. There we go. Although because of how I handled this, I should also be able to predict and respond to the fact that my assembler structure is going to need to be a little bit more in this direction for the reinforced plates. So that should also work to my favor. Okay. I wasn't marked. Anyway. Nope. Didn't have a problem there. Alright. I just realized that's backwards. Okay. Anyway. That was not the button I meant to press there, but you know what? I pressed a lot of buttons there. I'm glad I didn't accidentally bring up the Windows bar. Speaking of which... Nah, I got nothing. I'm trying to come up with things that aren't content related. And all I'm coming up with are different things. Have you ever tried 3D modeling? Because that's actively speaking Satisfactory relevant. There's like this funny short that they had about modeling a giraffe. Have you ever modeled a giraffe? So to speak. So I've modeled a couple of different things, and I might not have been modeling a giraffe specifically. I have most certainly butchered 3D modeling software before. I should really try and clean this up a little bit. This is very box on box. I could indent it here. And to indent. Yeah. And of course now my computer, not my computer, my phone's yelling at me. Which means that usually it's like 30 seconds, I think, before he starts up his stuff, so he's probably not going to be responding to anything I say right now. I'm alone. Where am I? Yeah, I still got one viewer. Unless that isn't up to date, which it very much might not be. Anyway. I don't know where you go. Every time I get to I just need to go down. Why am I stinking going around this whole entire hoopla garbage crap? Gotta also give another indent there. That's beside the point. There should be some concrete in here. Hooray. Gosh. Okay. If I start it back further, it would probably be advantageous, but I'd have to sit down and actively speak and think. And it should be fine. So this will be the reinforced plates, or bolted iron plates. Takes more screws, but does more in general. And then this just needs some incentive to function. And then it should be all dandy and crap. I do it like that, then I can actively speaking raise it by 1. Meaning that I can actively speaking have... Yeah. Be a little bit higher up, which should actually assist in certain regards. There we go. Now, this should mean that. And boom, I can walk around. I haven't thinking worry about things, although this does look funny. So that is where architecture comes in. What do my coupons look like? I got 6 of them. I feel like they added that recently. Maybe I'm wrong. This is concrete instead. Let's go ahead and add this to cart.
Thank you for investing into our internal closed economy. Your contributions provide aid to many good fix-it causes.
I hope one of those good fix-it causes is taking over the world. It'd be disappointing if it was any other thing. Okay. And that is... There we go. There we go. Well, technically, if I do this... Aha! $40 per area. This will produce 260. I don't think I did my math right there. You know, I don't think I did my math right whatsoever. Yeah, it's gonna take a spare. Then I could dedicate the material from the spare to this thing. Because if we sit down and do 140 times 3, 420, 260 times 3, 780. 390. Both of those should fit in relatively well. Although at the opposing end of it. Okay, it's 140 times 3. So 420 is the number we're looking for. This produces 260. This requires 250. So that would be 280 here. You know, that's not enough. Well, neither is the 360. Gosh, I need to write things down. Alright, pulling up a wall. Organization. Sign. Oh, you can't say anything. Great. Okay, there we go. There we go. Parts. Screw. Select. Go numbers. Copy. So, minus 420. And then... Reverse settings. Okay, apparently that is a different application. Oh, I can do that too. So what? I need it to make 420. If I split this evenly, and it's just gonna be silly. It's not gonna do anything. To 60 times 2 is 520. Cut in half is 260. And if I dump any material onto this line, it's just going to end up stacking. So there's not really much that's going to end up happening. $260 plus 10 is $280, not $420. Because this can't produce past that. So I'm just going to end up having to think about this. What if instead... Great, thank you. 5. That would be 130 per minute. Times. No. 1.5, 390. That's getting close. 1.75. Okay, so if I do that, it'll work. So I just need to set this to be 75%. Why? There we go. 75%. There we go. What is 0 effort? Oh, that would be Gator. I do not think he is in the chat anymore. I was kind of waiting for that. So now I'm going to try and figure out live what I'm doing as far as that goes. I'm gonna keep these around. So when it comes down to this should function. Because that's 195. Check it. 455. These do 480. It's in the safe zone. Conveyor merger them up. And just move the material. Move it, people. We're on the timeline. Okay, so we can do this. And just... Hello. Apparently he's Wing and sweeping up. So, time to clean up and... Wow, over there. We're apparently orcs today. We're orcs from Warhammer 40k, and we're going to commit a little wah. Okay, so let's get this handle. So, like or dislike as you will. If you subscribe on the right, don't. That's no fun. And I'm going to try and figure out how to do the raid thing. So, first things first. Oh, I can stick those in. Take that concrete back out of there, just so that it doesn't end up getting lost onto time. Confirm save, exit to desktop. if I click on him, can I, like... No. Okay. Well, if I go to the dashboard... I know I can ban someone by clicking on their name, but I wonder if I can raid them by clicking on their name. I'm not planning on banning him, I'm planning on just clicking. But the... Hello? This thing needs to refresh. There we go. So if I click... Follow, mute... Everything seems not useful right now. So... Gonna go ahead and shrink this real fast. Go over to Brave, because it has a better AI. And...
I'm
oh,
afraid I have some
what
really
the
sad
metric
news.
crap?
Bella has passed away. I was there with her at the end, and
When
it
I
was
was
as
about 8 years old,
peaceful
my
and
parents would-
comfortable as I could
What
have
the
hoped
metric
for.
crap?
Bella was
Apparently Bella was included into the stream. How to raid on... That is spelling. Do not want to do that. Kick. Heaven's sake. Poor little baby. Oh. Okay, that's easier than I thought it was. Okay. Is that the correct one? Raid. Do I just do this? Do I do... It's trying to... Okay. Raid Shadow Legends. Nope, this is not. There it is. Ba-doo. I'm trying. Is that correct? It seems correct. It looks correct. Nope, let's just do this. Nah. Maybe it works now? Raid. This is Gator. I want to see my stinking chat, but I can't see it right now. Nope, nothing's going on. This seems functionable. It auto-corrected for me. Oh, because... Okay. I have realized something. I can try and do it from the actual thingamabob at this point. But first things first, moderation. Access. Allow viewers to post links in chat. Apparently. Gonna have to click on that. Temporarily, just to get this done. Okay. Then raid. This is Gator. Enter. It will not work. It does not like. I'm gonna go over to a stream and see if I'm accidentally, like, spamming the poor man. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna stop the stream. It's not working. I think it's because of how I set the actual settings. This should be working. It's literally auto-correcting, but it's not doing anything. I'm stopping stream.